The theme of this video essay is Surveillance and Control, Analyzing Government Authority in Divergent, The Hunger Games, and V for Vendetta. From the fractured factions in Divergent to the dystopian districts portrayed in The Hunger Games, to the totalitarian regime in V for Vendetta, each shares a chilling theme: the dangers of government control and surveillance on individuals within society. Each narrative portrays a cautionary tale showing the fears of oppression from the government and manipulation. The first part of this video essay will cover government surveillance. In Divergent, the totalitarian regime employs an extremist surveillance methods to prevent the society from falling apart. These methods include discipline, serums, and enclosures to secure their rule over the city. The society is divided into 5 factions: abnegation, amity, candor, dauntless, and erudite, each representing a specific virtue. The government enforces this by mandating that everyone belongs to one faction, which dictates their lifestyle, job, and interactions. As seen at the beginning of the movie, Triss takes her aptitude test to determine which faction she belongs to. Unfortunately for Triss, she fits into multiple factions, not just one. This is seen as society as divergent, as these individuals don't fit into a single faction and are labeled as so, as they are a threat to society, as they can't be controlled. Divergent presents a stark exploration of identity, conformity, and the fear of the unknown. The storyline is not just about a battle for survival, but an intricate reflection of what it means to be different in a world that demands parity between all. Erudite uses serums and devices to detect divergent individuals, as the serum doesn't affect them. This serum affects the mind and controls the individuals they are injected with. Under the effects, individuals lose the ability to think on their own. They follow orders no matter how violent. Divergents are a symbol of the potential for rebellion and change, and the serum's incapacity to control them emphasizes the government's fear of who they cannot control. In The Hunger Games, the Capitol employs various strategies to control and monitor the people of the 12 districts. The reaping ceremony, where 2 tributes are chosen from each district, is meticulously orchestrated and observed by the Capitol to maintain order and compliance. Inside the arena, hidden cameras are equipped with advanced technology and track every move of the tributes. The Capitol can also manipulate the environment to punish or redirect behavior they disapprove of. In the control rooms, the game makers oversee live feeds of the games, broadcasting them around the clock. This constant surveillance serves as a reminder to the districts that the Capitol is always watching, reinforcing fear and submission. Additionally, tributes are implanted with tracking devices, ensuring they cannot escape and must adhere to the Capitol's rules. This surveillance underscores the Capitol's absolute authority and their ability to enforce compliance. The article Reflections of the Surveillance and the Oppressive Authority in the Hunger Games discusses hunger, social breakdown, political oppression, and Michael Foucault's concepts of surveillance and discipline, and the struggle for survival under a totalitarian regime. The Hunger Game illustrates a dynamic of surveillance and discipline between the Capitol and the districts. Foucault's Discipline and Punish highlights how totalitarian regimes maintain control through repression, discipline, and strategic use of fear. The Capitol monitors its citizens using the threat of punishment to ensure compliance and transform them into docile bodies. The people of Pan Am live with the constant awareness that they are being watched, whether they are hunting, working, or simply carrying out their daily lives. V for Vendetta is set in a future dystopian Britain. V for Vendetta is more than just a lust for revenge. It is a powerful movie discussing the exploration of freedom, tyranny, and the transformative power of ideas. Power is at the front and center of this movie, with the theme of power, who wields it, how it corrupts individuals, and the lengths individuals and governments will go to dismantle it. The North Spire government uses undercover police, wire traps, and CCTV cameras to keep an eye on its population. By using these monitoring techniques, the government can keep tabs on opposition, quell resistance, and uphold order by instilling fear, along with maintaining ongoing surveillance. The regime also controls information and manipulates the general population through propaganda. Because of the paranoid and compliant atmosphere fostered by government monitoring, any efforts at a rebellion is quickly shot down. The next scene will be propaganda and the fear to justify oppression. In Divergent, Janine, the leader of Erudite, delivers polished speeches advocating for the faction system as a solution to the flaws in humanity. She claims that the faction system prevents wars and enforces the propaganda through tracking of divergence as a means of protecting society. The use of fear is strong, as they instill in the factions at a young age that without the faction system, society would fall, and they use the enclosed city walls to protect from threats on the outside, but the wall is there to control the whole society. This can be compared to the Hunger Games, as the Capitol uses the Hunger Games themselves as propaganda. The annual televised spectacle is used to remind the districts of the Capitol's power and the consequences of rebellion. President Snow often makes speeches portraying the games as a form of justice for the past uprising and maintaining the peace through fear. Since the Hunger Games winners are only targets of the government's propaganda, they are live examples of naive optimism. This so-called game is really a kind of oppression. It separates the population into 12 districts and instills dread, making it impossible for them to come together and launch another rebellion. It is a useful instrument for highlighting the government's overwhelming power and control. The use of vendetta, propaganda, and fear are key mechanisms used by the Northfire government. The government broadcasts censored media and misinformation to the population to manipulate the actual truth. The British television network is state-run, and the anchors are being told what to say on air as they relate to the Northfire beliefs. One scene shows us as a broadcast declares the Northfire regime as a success as they eradicated terrorist threats and justify their hard measures as a protective to society. The Northfire party uses statements such as freedom, unity, in order to sell their fascist policies. Under their rule, anyone who doesn't commit to their views is punished, as Jews, immigrants, and homosexuals are kidnapped and taken and are never seen or heard of again. Rebellion is a central theme in Divergent, as Triss and Four fight to free the Dauntless from the Serum used by the Erudite to control them. As Janine seeks to overthrow the abnegation government, she uses fear and propaganda to manipulate the factions to support her rise to power. Triss is able to break free from the Serum and saves Four, as they both are needed urgently to stop the simulation. By the end of the movie, Triss and Four have joined forces with others who resist the Erudite's control, marking the beginning of a larger rebellion. Triss has now become more than just an individual rebel. She represents the spark of a much bigger movement to overthrow the faction system and the oppressive government that controls it. Katniss in the Hunger Games is the epiphany of a symbol of the term rebellion. The first scene of this is seen when Katniss is thrust into the games as she challenges the system and refuses to accept the Capitol's narrative and becomes defiant. Katniss and her fellow tribute, Peeta, are forced into a romantic narrative by the Capitol to win public support. While initially playing along to survive, Katniss simply rebels by making the romance appear more genuine than the Capitol intended. The act of rebellion allows them to win favor from the audience and forces the Capitol to change the rules of the games in their favor. In the final act of the movie, Katniss are the last two standing, which they both threaten to eat poisonous berries that will kill them both, which will leave no winner. The Capitol is forced to change the rules and allow both of the tributes to win, which is an unprecedented act of rebellion against the Capitol's authority. The movie is leading a revolution against the oppressive and totalitarian Northfire government. V begins his rebellion through attacking the government facilities by bombing the Old Bailey, and his ultimate goal is to destroy the government and inspire the rest of Britain to take action. V adopts the persona of Guy Fawkes, wearing a mask that has become synonymous with rebellion. The mask is a powerful symbol throughout the film, representing resistance against tyranny. As part of his plan, V manipulates the media, broadcasting messages to the population and creating a narrative of resistance. This is most evident in his broadcast on November 5th, when he encourages the people to come together and to rise up against the government. In the final scenes of the movie, V's plan to destroy the Parliament is realized, as the citizens of London, wearing his mask, flood the streets to support the rebellion. They are symbolically rejecting the government's control. The mask becomes a powerful symbol of the collective resistance, and the rebellion becomes a mass movement that threatens to overthrow the government.